Hello, this is Skylit Lake reading Endeavor's Parenting Guide to Your Teenage Son by SuspenseBoss. Summary: Enji and Shoto co-write a parenting book based on their many interactions. It flew right off the shelf and became the talk of the internet. Word count 1,700. One shot. Side note: this is technically 4 chapters, but since the 4 chapters are really short, I'll be doing them in one video. Chapter 1: Introduction and Lesson 1. When Enji published his book, it flew right off the shelf. Most of the book was about the interactions between him and Shoto. Introductions. You might already know who I am, but I am the pro hero Endeavor, currently #1 pro hero in Japan. It's kind of hard to hide the fact, but my younger son goes to UA, the same high school I attended when I was his age. I have high hopes for him. I'm afraid to say I'm not really close with my son. I let my hero life take the high ground over my fatherly role. I admit my mistake. However, I'm trying harder this year to draw closer to my son, even if it seems like he doesn't want to. My name is Shoto. I haven't chosen a hero name yet. My advice to any caring father would be to read this carefully, then do the exact opposite of everything my father did. Please, I beg you. One Saturday, Shoto decided to stay home for the weekend. We decided to eat Shoto's favorite dish, cold soba, for lunch. So, I said, spinning the soba around with my chopsticks. I wasn't really sure how to make small talk with my son. Shoto slopes down his soba. How are your studies? I asked. It's good, Shoto replied. Rule 1. Do not ask simple questions that can be answered with a simple yes or no. Be more creative. What did you guys discuss in class on Friday? I asked. We talked about what it would be like when we graduated. The hero market is competitive right now, Shoto explained. True, I added. This would be a good time to add a follow-up question. What do you think? I asked. Shoto hummed. Well... Shoto decided not to open up. He slopes down more soba. Do not panic if your child does this. It's okay. Especially since Shoto is a teen, he deserves his space and privacy just like an adult. Yeah, I know it sucks when they don't answer the way we wanted them to, but they still need to be treated with respect. Often our conversations would go a little bit something like that. I'm still trying to crack his shell. Chapter 2. When your son leaves you on red. I find technology to be a blessing and a curse. Often my son leaves me on red all the time. It hurts to be ignored, and I feel like it's karma for the way I have treated him over the years. There are a million reasons why someone may leave you on red. They could be busy or aren't sure how to respond to your text. I remember one time after patrol, I texted my son to check if he was doing well. Shoto, are you doing well? Please respond. I want to talk to you. I'll be waiting for your reply. I swear the only times my son doesn't want to talk to me is when I want to talk about something important. Sometimes I wonder if I'm too persistent. Perhaps my son doesn't know how to deal with me. I finally asked Shota why he ghosts me. I'm not ready, Shota said. Not ready for what? I want to draw you closer, but now it doesn't feel right, Shota explained. That conversation was a real eye-opener for me. My son doesn't want to draw closer to me. Chapter 3. When your son has a girlfriend. One morning I received a text from Shoto saying he was going to hang out with one of his schoolmates. Of course, as a caring father, I asked who it was. No response. I was fumed. Why would my son not tell me? Little does my son know that I have a tracking app installed on his phone so I can keep him safe. Later that day. Well, my son hasn't done anything crazy yet. All he did is go to a smoothie shop with a girl from his class. I was sitting across the smoothie shop in a coffee shop wearing sunglasses and a baseball cap to disguise myself. A light bulb lit in my head. Wait a minute, a girl? I shouted, drawing attention from the other customers. I almost had a panic attack. My son is way too young to be dating, I thought. I was about to leave the store when my phone started to vibrate. Uh-oh, I said, pulling out my phone. The tracker icon went away in the app. He probably figured out he was being tracked, I thought. I clenched my teeth. This will not end too well, I muttered. Father! Shota yelled. I cringed. How did he know I was here? I thought. I can't understand how Shoto was able to spot me while I was spying on him. Granted, I may be 195 centimeters tall and weigh almost 200 kilograms, all muscle, but the sunglasses and that baseball cap should have been more than enough to make me completely inconspicuous. Perhaps next time I should remember to extinguish my flaming beard and eyebrows. Were you spying on me? Shota said. Yeah, for good reason, No, there's never a good reason to spy on your children, Shota said while face-palming himself. Apparently Shoto had a schoolmate from the support classes remove the app on his phone. That was the whole point of the meeting. What a relief. The only reason why I don't want Shoto to start dating is because of personal experience. I got married when I was very young. I don't want Shoto to get heartbroken or regret his decisions. So, is it okay if I go on a real date? Shoto asked. Sure, I said through my teeth. I guess the real problem is I see Shoto as a baby, since he's the youngest in our family. I can't help it. Next weekend. Hey Dad, I'm about to go, Shoto said, making his way downstairs. Shoto's date was sitting on the fine sofa. Oh wait, I have to get something from my room, Shoto said. I dropped the smile. What are your intentions with my son? I asked. Go on a date? The girl said. Do you have any sisters? Enji asked. No, the girl blurted out. Does your mother have a husband? I asked. Yeah, why are you asking these weird questions, Mr. Endeavor? The girl said. I hummed. Do you do drugs? I said, checking off my checklist. No, I would never, the girl replied. Are you friends with any villains? I asked. Not that I know of, the girl said. I paused. The room became very tense. If you hurt my son, I'll hurt you, I threatened. I found my wallet, Shoto said, making his way down the stairs again. What were you guys talking about? Nothing. We're just getting to know each other, I said with a smile. Right? The girl nodded. Yeah, she said, fearing for her life. I told Shoto to be home by 9. It's 9:01 p.m. I frowned. What if there's a villain attack? I said, pacing around the living room. What if he got kidnapped and they harvest his organs? I heard some keys jingle at the door. Dad, I'm home, Shoto said. Oh, Shoto, don't leave me alone, I said, wrapping my arms around my son. Shoto deadpanned. I'm only 2 minutes late, Shoto said, rolling his eyes. Moral of the story, do not put a tracking app on your son's phone. If you do, don't get caught. Chapter 4. When your son fails a test. Oh, what's wrong? I asked. I noticed my gloomy son was gloomier than usual. Something was up. Nothing. I'm just bummed I failed the test, Shoto explained. Can I see? I asked. I pulled out my reading glasses and examined the test. This is easy. I'm pretty sure I taught you this when we were patrolling. What happened? I said. It's no big deal, Shoto said apathetically. As a caring father, I decided to bring it up with his teacher against Shoto's wishes. Note to readers. I asked permission from Shoto's homeroom teacher if he can be in the book. He said yes, but I have to leave his name out. For convenience purposes, I will just call him Teach. If you know who he is, you know who he is. Confrontation. What is this? I said, shoving the test paper in the teacher's face. A test? His homeroom teacher answered sarcastically. Yes, I know. It's a test, but look, what's this grade? I answered. It's a test score. All he has to do is study a little harder for his next test, Teach added. I choked on my own words. I want a do-over. I'm sorry, Endeavour. I do not do makeups, Teach said. Do you know who I am? I said. Yes, and I do not care, Teach said. I'm bamboozled by this teacher. I signed before saying, What do you want? Money? Woman? I asked. Huh? Are you trying to bribe me, Endeavour? The teacher said. I looked around his desk and saw a picture of a silver-haired girl. It would be a shame if something were to happen to your daughter, I said, toying with the picture frame. The room got chillier. I can see the anger in the teacher's eyes. Are you threatening me? The teacher said. No, but it would be nice. I put down the photo. If my son could retake the test, I said. After making my way to my car parked outside, I said to my son, You retake the test tomorrow. How were you able to convince Sensei? He has a strict no makeup policy, Shoto questioned. I have my ways, I answered. A note from Shoto. When I first heard my father told me this story, I was downright furious and embarrassed. I asked my homeroom teacher about it so I can apologize, and it turned out my father lied. Not a real surprise, to be honest, since when does Teach ever refer to anyone by Sir? That was a clear giveaway. In reality, my father was on his knees begging and crying if I can retake the test. He also said if Endeavour actually did pull that fiasco, he would sue Endeavour's name into the ground. he would make sure his hero license gets terminated. Dear readers, if you ever meet my homeroom teacher, please do not mess with him. Hello, my dear friends. I hope you enjoyed this one shot. This is, I think, relatively short. I don't know, because I kind of divided the 4 chapters into 4 recording parts because that was just easier. But either way, yeah. I really don't have much going on in my life right now. I'm just figuring things out. Uni will be starting in about half a month. So I've got to prepare for that. Which, yippee. Anyway, how are you guys doing? The school year started for many of you, and I'm pretty sure most of my audience is still in school. Let me just check that. Community? Oh yeah, I also figured out how to turn on community posts. I think I did. Most of you are in the United States, that makes sense. Yeah, most of you are boys actually, huh? And wow, I'm surprised. Most of you are around my age or older. Like around 50% of you guys is 35 to 45, which is maybe that's just skewed because last 20 days. Let me do forever, lifetime, yeah. Okay, let's see. Yeah, now it's more normal. Most of you guys are girls. Gals? Most of you gals are girls. Most of you are around 18 to 24 as well, 70%. Yeah. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye.